So over the days I've been using the iPad Air, it has been really interesting to use. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for sticking around. And today I'm simply talking about my thoughts and my update on using the iPad Air 5th generation 2022. I released a shot of just unboxing the iPad Air. So yeah, I'm just going to share my thoughts and my updates on using the iPad Air so far. And I am wondering why I haven't gotten an iPad in the longest time. But yeah, in this video I'm just going to run through and show you guys what I think about the iPad Air. So yeah, this is the iPad Air. It's inside the case now because I'm very clumsy with products and gadgets. So I don't want to fall this down, and I don't have Apple Care to pay for. If you are very kind enough to pay for my Apple Care, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. I also have a screen protector on this iPad just to be careful. I really don't want to take chances with slipping this because it's very light and it can slip off my hand whenever I'm doing something or I don't know stuff. I just know I'm clumsy when it comes to products. So I always make sure I just protect my gadgets all around and nothing happens to it on the long run because Apple, they will bill you, your pocket will run dry. So simply talking about the iPad Air, the iPad Air has the M1 chip in it, and the M series was introduced around that era as well. I think 2020 was it. And this M1 chip that's inside this iPad Air is also what you find in the MacBook series too. This M1 chip, unbelievably, it's the M series is really fast. They compared it with the Intel version because Apple was on the Intel version, so now they're using their own chip they've designed for them their product, and it's really nice, that I must say. So all the time I've been using this iPad, it's been nothing but excellent. There are several features you can go on with this iPad in terms of splitting screens, splitting the view of what you want to see and what you don't want to see, but what you are trying to do as well can be running in the background and also doing what you want to do at the same time. So there are a lot of features going into this iPad there. So the camera, Apple has this center stage camera for the FaceTime. So as you are moving, it's motion censored as well. So it just tracks your face and does position it to be in the center. So that's really cool if you're on FaceTime with any of your friends and it just, wherever you're moving about, it just moves with it and just make sure that it's positioned in the center there. I really like that feature Apple introduced into this. And this is at 60 Hz, and now you can play games on this iPad Air with a controller, and it's really amazing. I really like what Apple has done with the iPad series on how you can multitask with different things and going forward. When I got this, I was being advised to get an Apple Pencil because an Apple Pencil just makes it easier to move around. I've been watching a lot of videos of ways you can use the Apple Pencil to just navigate through your screen in terms of productivity, whatever you want to do. But yeah, I still use my fingers just to scroll around and click on whatever icon I want to use or whatever app I'm trying to use, and it's still pretty okay. But an Apple Pencil just makes it easier in terms of also trying to probably Google search. You just there's a feature where you just type it and then you just like type whatever you want to type anyhow, and iPad is going to generate what you've typed properly into the search bar and it opens it for you. And yeah, in terms of unlocking the iPad, this iPad Air doesn't have a Face ID option. So you have to rest your finger on top of the Touch ID. So it's just Touch ID this iPad Air possess at this very moment. For comparing the Face ID and Touch ID, I would love to see the Face ID on the iPad Air. That would have just been easier instead of resting. Although I don't see anything wrong with the Touch ID, which is also safer as well. Or the Face ID just seems faster. In terms of differences with the iPad Pro from the iPad Air, if we talk about price from the iPad Air to the iPad Pro, we are saving about £200 from the iPad Pro to the iPad Air because the iPad Pro costs about 899 and the iPad Air costs about 669. So give or take, you're saving about that amount to whatever you're buying. In terms of battery, the battery life is still pretty the same as the previous gen. I believe is up to 10 hours of surfing the web and entertainment. Also with the iPad Pro, I think the iPad Pro is about up to 11 hours of surfing the web and using it for different activities as well. So it's not like a very mad difference in the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. So the iPad Pro has the M2 chip and the iPad Air has the M1 chip in it. The M1 chip is really doing great as well, but the M2 chip, I believe, is more of the high end for productivity. And like I said, if you are into all this like machine learning and also kind of software that takes up a lot of usage in a system, I believe the M2 chip will be able to undo that, and this is where the iPad Pro steps in. So the M1 chip on the iPad Air comes with the 8 gig of RAM, and also the iPad Pro as well. The M2 chip starts with 8 gig of RAM, but it goes up to 16 gig of RAM if you are going for a storage of 1 TB and above, or 512 gig and above. One of the two, I believe it goes up to 16 gig, because you can get the 16 gig on the base models for 128, 256, and on 16 gig of RAM. So you need to go higher in storage to get that 16 gig of RAM on the iPad Pro. If we are looking into the bezels of the iPad Air is a bit thicker, and you can see from the previous gen when it came from as well. They also had a thick bezel, but it's still okay. It's still very great to use, and you just know that you are getting a thick bezel, and it's really showing when you are using the device. So yeah, if I'm to compare this with the iPad Pro, simply for me, the iPad Pro is if you're into much of productivity, if you're into much of something that is going to take a lot of space, and also going to take a lot of usage while you're using it. So an iPad Pro for me is just a laptop as well. This also can be addressed as a laptop, the Air, because that's that M1 chip which I told you. It's also found in the MacBook M1, in the MacBook Pro rather. So all the times I've been using this iPad, I have not experienced any, color change or lateness in swiping left, swiping right. Everything has just been moving smoothly, and I really wondered why I haven't gotten an iPad Air all this time. Well, you use money to buy an iPad Air, so if I was to rate the iPad Air, I would definitely put it top there in getting a purchase. Although Apple might be planning on releasing new generation of iPad Air, which I believe might be coming probably early next year or late next year, depending on the news and rumors that have been out there. Probably might be late next year if Apple is releasing an iPad Air. What I would like to see Apple bring into the new gen of iPad Air, if the Apple Pencil can be included in the next iPad Air, that would just be great. Instead of buying it separately, but knowing Apple, they like to do their accessories separate from the main item you've bought, just be a long shot. But I would just love to see that if you're buying the iPad, any generation, any model, it should be just included. Going forward, what do I think of the iPad Air? The iPad Air has been really great. I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, using it over the past few days. And if you want to settle for the base iPad, I would recommend the Air if you are not into the high-end productivity, high-end usage, or you in general you are not bothered about the kind of things you are going to be using it for. If you are strictly for normal work, Microsoft Word, Excel, the Microsoft Outlook applications, and if you are just into entertainment, browsing the web, listening to music, using it during your spare time, I believe the iPad Air is the one you should go for. You have the M1 chip in it, you are getting the 8 gig of RAM, it has a 60Hz display, and if you're into gaming, like I said, it's going to be running seamlessly and is using every hertz on the screen resolution. If you're into like high-end productivity and you want to use it for a higher usage of what you are trying to work on, then I believe the Pro will be going for. So the Pro has the 120 Hz, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy that 120 Hz if that's what you're going for. But for me, settling with this iPad Air has been really great over few days, and that's just my thoughts at the moment. So yeah, guys, that's just my brief update on the iPad Air, 5th generation 2022. So like I said, Apple might be introducing new generation of iPad, and I won't be surprised if they bring in the M2 chip into the iPad Air, and that will be for the 6th generation when that one comes out, and I'll be looking forward to that. But please do subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. Hopefully I can even scale that. And also, are you trying to get an iPad soon? What are your thoughts on the iPad Air? Are you going to get this, or you're probably going to wait for the newer generations coming soon, probably next year? Like I said, if you are getting an iPad, what are you mostly going to be using it for? iPad Pro, is that what you're going for? iPad Air, if you're settling for just the basics and you're not going into too much, and also saving cost as well. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Once again, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it, and please do share with your friends to subscribe. Try to get to that 500 followers, or subscribers rather. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.